being here. Coach McGee, on behalf of the entire Georgia State community, I would like to welcome you, your wife Linda, and son Austin to the university. The campus couldn't be more excited to have you as a part of the family. Let me also thank our athletic director, Charlie Cobb, for his leadership, partnership, friendship. I don't think you could find a better partner than Charlie, Coach McGee. Like me, I know you're going to fall in love with Georgia State. Just 25 years ago, we were a fully commuter campus, and now we're 52,000 students, 6 different campuses, and the largest institution in Georgia, and one of the biggest landowners in the city of Atlanta.
Another part of the quick screen game, brought down at the 47.
To pass a Bo Nix, who is phenomenal, a Michael Penix, who's playing right now, to win it.
Josh Williams over the left side after the holding penalty on Miles Frazier. Second and goal from around the 15. Daniels wants to take off, and he does with real estate. And a touchdown! My God, he makes it look so easy.
There's not a lot of room up the middle here, and Jaden Daniels just manages it. And then when he sees a little daylight, the acceleration, Vinzi.
What an honor. Great morning to be a Georgia State football head coach. I must say that I'm very, very humbled and honored to be in this position. It's been a long time coming, and I'm very gracious for this opportunity to lead this program into a consistent winning program. I must first say that I must thank Dr. Blake and his leadership of the university, also Charlie Cobb and all the committee that was involved in hiring myself. It was a first-class hiring. You can actually see how the leadership is aligned, and the alignment will create success here at Georgia State.
For supplemental lift, so to get the whole team, the majority of the team in at one time is essential, and it saves a lot of time. Give them the academics, give them the class, give them the tutoring, and help our guys not only graduate, but have good grades in school.
While this may look like an ordinary weight room, this facility is designed to build healthier and stronger players.
It definitely is more lifting weights. It's about taking care of the body. It's enhancing performance, preventing injuries, but also you get a chance with football to build a team and for guys to come together as one. So it's a place to build a brotherhood. It's a place to see guys sweat, strain, create things within their body they haven't done before.
With everything in one place, the team can remain efficient on and off the field.
This is just some of the new equipment we have here available at our Georgia State Strength and Conditioning facility. If you stand here and look to my right, you'll also see our state-of-the-art equipment that'll help our football team improve from their 2-win loss season last year.
And to save time, to go to the locker room, drop the stuff, come in here, train, get the recovery shakes, go to lunch, and continue to go to class the rest of the day is essential. And to go meet with their coaches on the way out, to grab any reminders, anything, is huge. Most of them live right across the street in the new Aspen Heights the development over there across the street. So it's huge. Again, it allows them to develop throughout their career.
With their first game in sight, the team is ready to prove themselves this year.
I think, a build up to the first game. They've been working extremely hard, as everybody in the country has, and to seeing what we have. To play somebody different, to hit someone different, to play in a great facility that they have in Knoxville, and to have a chance to play it in that arena, and also to see where we measure up. As a coach, as a strength staff, see where our guys are, and continue to push those guys throughout the whole season.
College football is constantly changing. The ability for players to transfer freely and get paid changes the sport almost overnight. Any school that has resources can play at the top level. But can Georgia State actually make it happen? With a 12-team playoff format, it's reasonable that a team in the Sunbelt Conference could earn a playoff spot. James Madison is a recent example, finishing 11-2 last year, but we're ranked in the top 10 in most polls at some point. James Madison finished 2023 ranked 24. Baby steps will do. In the Sunbelt Conference that can compete and be ranked in the top 10 late in the season is a welcome sign for Georgia State. It shows that Georgia State has all the tools in place to actually compete at the highest level. The big question now is, has the Georgia State story progressed to the point that all they need is a breakthrough season. Before Sean Elliott abruptly resigned to accept a coaching job at South Carolina, he guided Georgia State to 5 bowl wins in 7 years. Georgia State began its journey as a D1 team in 2010, and now, 14 years later, Dell McGee joins the team as the new head coach. McGee spent the last 8 years as a member of Georgia's coaching staff, serving as the team's running backs coach among other roles. So McGee seems to be intent on taking his lessons learned from America's top college football program. And the blueprint seems to have the stamp of excellence firmly in place. But what's next for Georgia State this season coming up? Can they turn the huge resources they have into success in recruiting the metro Atlanta area? Now imagine what would happen if they could find a way to keep a lot of these top athletes right here in the Atlanta area. And the plan is certainly good. And this year, recruiting, the schedule, and predictions for Georgia State. We'll get into that in just a minute. While it's evident that Georgia State is gathering resources at a fast pace, one that might need to be respected if you're a UGA or a Georgia Tech. But that's not really going to be a factor until they start recruiting. Let's talk a little bit about Georgia State's recruiting. At the moment, they're having difficulty keeping up with 2 to 3 teams. But they are cracking that outer shell, almost cracking the top 100. Now, that's not a joke. Once you start getting into that 100 and easing into the 70 ranking, you can start recruiting it just as good as James Madison does. Something could happen. But one thing about their recruiting you could say is that despite the ranking, they are loaded with 3-star talent, and it's very solid. And so the recruiting may not have to increase immediately. It could just be that development will be the key. And that's where McGee comes in, and Coach Sisk and this team that they put together. If they're doing things in a first-class way, top to bottom, like they claim and aspire to, who's to say? Who's to say they won't have a team that somebody might have a lot of trouble competing with? Whatever happens in 2024, just from my time in the area, there certainly is a lot of enthusiasm, especially in the area around the stadium that Georgia State plays in. They've transformed this whole neighborhood into a very little snazzy area. It's like it's really a lot of things going on, a lot of money and interest in this area, and Georgia State's a big part of what they're trying to do in this part of the city. It's not just a college thing, but the Georgia State excitement certainly is interesting to watch. Whether they can get to the level of James Madison and get a top 10 team, it's certainly not out of the question. There's been no better time in history to build a program from scratch than right now. I mean, with the NIL, the transfer portal, with resources, things can happen quickly. Look what's happening in Colorado with Deion Sanders, how the game is changing, how the movement of players has changed dramatically in the last 2 seasons. And just how much more that'll change in every month, much less the next 2 seasons beyond. college football is in a state of flux where we don't really know what's going to happen. So Georgia State could very well benefit from this turbulence. But it does seem like they're trying to do it step by step and trying to build a championship program. And I mean that in every sense of the word. So there's no reason why it can't happen at Georgia State. The only question is just how fast it'll happen. It's almost certain if they keep at this pace, they'll be a major player, at least in the state. They're already challenging Georgia Tech in material ways as the second best team in Georgia. They call the UGA, they call them that team down south. There's a lot of excitement here at Georgia State, and they're serious about being a serious football program. And there's no reason why it can't happen soon. It might happen sooner than many of us think.